Who are these new guys? Why are they here? What is their place? In a world without a Superman.
Reign of Superman is the second part of the adaptation of the Death and Return of Superman. Now, mid last year, we witnessed the death, and this part is all about the aftermath. This is about what is a world like without a Superman? What is a metropolis like without a Superman? And how does the world and the city react to 4 Supermen just showing up? How do they feel about Steel and the Eradicator and Cyborg Superman and Superboy? How do they feel? And we get those questions, and we're on that journey with Lois. Like, let's be honest, like, the big thing with this movie is that 95%, because spoiler alert, Superman comes back, 95% is a Lois Lane movie. So you hope, for the love of goodness, that this version of Lois, who in the first film was a supporting character, could turn into a main character. They could. Lois Lane just carries this entire film most of the time. She can carry this entire film, because at the end of the day, it is a mystery. It is a mystery of who is everyone. Who is the Eradicator? Who is Cyborg Superman? Who is Steel? Who is Superboy? Who is this? Who is that? And you're on that journey with her, and you kind of do become better at every point to try and piece things together. And we're also witnessing Lois deal with grief and just seeing the personalities of these 4 guys, and the good thing about it is, like, you would think that a movie that is 87 minutes long, you would kind of think that these 4 Supermen are just going to be like caricatures, like just watching them with no personality and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, guess what? They have some personality. I mean, outside the Eradicator, for, spoiler reasons. But it comes to Steel, Superboy, and Cyborg Superman, they put some personality to those 3. And we appreciate it, because they could easily be like, okay, Superboy could easily just be the party Superman who's like, woo, getting drunk all the time and sings on those lines, and Steel could just be, just be black, could just be the black Superman, and Cyborg Superman could just be, look, I'm a robot, like, I'm half human, half robot thing. Like, it could easily be like that, but it doesn't. Now, positives outweigh the negatives. Like, I will say that, because the animation in this movie is it's a hell of a lot better than the animation that we got given since Justice League War. You can tell, like, the budget of these films has kind of been lacking a bit, and haven't we upgraded the animation that they once were since between Superman Doomsday and The Dark Knight Returns. No, Superman Unbound, and the animation just felt like they were going back to it, and the colors were so bright, and it just, everything with the animation felt well done, and the action was fluid, and it just was one of those, like, this feels right. When it comes to the negatives, I will say this: how they introduced the 4 Supermen, I would have been cutting out. Like, really, it should, just because it felt a bit jarring, because, like, the time we saw Superman and Lois and all kinds of stuff was the funeral. And then, like, out of the blue, here's these 4 Supermen. I felt very jarring. I'm like, okay, boom, slow down. There wasn't a sense of rhythm. They didn't just come one by one. They just show up. And I'm like, I felt it should be a little bit more ease and a more sense of pace towards that. I am, as I said, with the Death of Superman, not a big fan of this voice of Lex. Even though Lex in this, like, at the beginning, I'm like, oh no, what are you gonna do with Lex? Because Lex in this, and same with the Justice League in a way, the Justice League is completely 100% this, But Lex at the beginning was just comic relief. Lex in this was just like, hey, he's flirting with Lois, talking about like, hey, I thought that after the death, the Boy Scout died, I thought you would come back and make me a rebound or something. And you're like, and there was like the head in the boob thing. I'm like, what is happening? Don't tell me you're making Lex Luthor a joke in this. Don't tell me you're doing that. But I was like, oh. And then they did the Justice League, and the Justice League in this is 100% just comic relief. And I get it. Like Green Lantern and Flash are very comic relief characters, and Batman even has some, has like a dry sense of humor and all that kind of stuff. But everything that came out of their mouths was a joke. Outside Wonder Woman, there's a scene at the beginning with Lois and Diana, which is quite nice, but there's a tire of every scene they were in, they just were cracking jokes. I'm like, what did they do? No, I get you want them to react to the other Superman, but I just felt like everything that came out of their mouths was a punchline. And the other thing I wasn't a big fan of was the ending. The ending I wasn't a big fan of. Just because it felt like, spoiler, Superman comes back. And they handled the turn of Superman really, really well. But how they did the ending was a sense of just, like, Superman's back, the big threat is done, just wrap everything up, okay, 30 seconds later, he's in the suit, Clark Kent's back, everything's back to status quo, and the roll credits. And I'm like, okay, that's how you end it? That's a bit weird, but outside of that, this movie is pretty good. This is a solid film. This is a solid animated film.
You look like Superman, but Superman died in my arms.
For my people, death doesn't have to be the end. Terrible things are coming, Lois. I can feel it.
We gotta be our own heroes. We sure as hell could make some noise.
When the Daily Planet said Superman is dead, it painted a target on the Earth.
How do we even begin to fight that?